What bothers me and what I need to know, Carisha, did you know if those girls were underage? Because that'll break my heart.
When all of these things came out, I just needed to take a break and focus on what's important. It was just me and my career and my family, and just, let him navigate and figure that out on his own, because I can't get caught up in it.
You heard that right. Young Miami's hands are far dirtier than anyone thought. Behind the glitz and glam, the feds have revealed her role as Diddy's fixer, a position that allegedly had her silencing his victims to protect his twisted empire. She wasn't just along for the ride, she was deeply involved in covering up the horrific allegations stacking up against him. Trust me, once you hear how far she went to keep Diddy's secrets, you'll be left stunned. Young Miami isn't just standing by her man, she might be running interference. Ever wonder how celebrities keep their dirty laundry out of the headlines? 2 words: celebrity fixer, and Young Miami's name is all over it. So what exactly does a celebrity fixer do? It's not about scheduling appointments or picking up dry cleaning, we're talking damage control on steroids. These are the behind-the-scenes players who make problems disappear faster than you can say no comment. They're the ones making late-night calls, cutting deals, and keeping secrets buried deep. Now, according to this lawsuit, Young Miami might have been playing that game for Diddy. We're not just talking about standing by her man anymore. This is next-level stuff. The suit claims she was actively working to silence one of Diddy's alleged victims. That's right, the same Young Miami who's been serving looks on Instagram and spitting bars on stage might have been moonlighting as Diddy's personal problem solver. Let's break it down. Diddy's been in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons lately. Since last year, accusations have stacked up against him, and it's wild. We're talking sexual misconduct on all levels. It's like every time you turn around, someone else is stepping up to tell their story. And if that wasn't messy enough, just last week, the feds came through and hit Diddy with some serious charges. Yeah, you read that right. Dude pleaded not guilty, but guess what? No bail for him, he's sitting tight for now. Fast forward to this week, and another bomb dropped. A former employee from Bad Boy Records decided to take legal action, accusing him of sexual assault. And now, like clockwork, yet another woman, another victim, is adding her voice to the pile of lawsuits Diddy's facing. She's bringing some heavy accusations too. But it's not just about Diddy anymore. Young Miami's name is right there in black and white, and the allegations are wild. This anonymous woman, going by Jane Doe in the legal documents, just sued Diddy. What makes this crazy? She's the 12th woman to step forward in the last 10 months alone, and she's not holding back. She says Diddy didn't just sexually assault her once, but repeatedly over 4 years. This wasn't some one-time incident, it was ongoing. She met him back in 2020, and from there things went downhill. According to her, after they first met, Diddy hit her up with an all-expenses-paid trip, but things took a dark turn fast. She's claiming that Diddy and his crew didn't exactly give her room to say no, using mad pressure and manipulation to get her to meet up with him in different spots over the years. And that's not all. She's talking about how he'd lace her drinks with alcohol that had her feeling all sorts of ways, plus he pushed illegal substances on her. The wildest part? She says he incapacitated her and sexually assaulted her at his crib in LA back in April 2022, and she didn't even know the full damage until afterward when she realized she had bruises and, wait for it, a bite mark on her foot. But it gets even messier. She says in July 2022, she got pregnant by Diddy, and instead of support, he and his people were on her back, pressuring her hard to get an abortion. Things get even messier when Young Miami, Diddy's girlfriend at the time, comes into the picture. According to the lawsuit, Young Miami wasn't just chilling on the sidelines. She allegedly blew up her phone, pushing her to get an abortion. She ended up miscarrying later on, but the trauma doesn't stop there. She's claiming Diddy kept tabs on her, legit tracking her, keeping an eye on her convos, making sure she wasn't spilling too much. And it wasn't just her who saw Diddy's dark side. She says she witnessed him straight up slapping and abusing other women too. All of this went on until this past July.
They had gave a party on New Year's Eve at Madam C.J. Walker's house, right, in her mansion. And I had my girl, her friend, and it was a big party, New Year's Eve party. I went looking for my girl, and I couldn't find her nowhere. It was crazy. And I'm going in bathrooms, I'm knocking down doors, I'm going through every door in the house, opening doors, people in there, in situations, drinking, the whole 9 yards. I even go outside, it's cold. I'm looking at people's car, I'm looking at cars and everything like that. Then I finally just go to my car, and she was in there asleep with her girlfriend. You understand? I was wondering what happened. And she said that she was drinking champagne and all of a sudden she got dizzy. So she went to the car. She made it to the car. So I knew those people who was at that party, somebody had the champagne or the orange juice or something. Cause my girl was in the car asleep. Her and her girlfriend, knocked out. And they hadn't been at the party for an hour or two. So it's a possibility that that happens a lot, that happened to people.
Now, everything that's happened and came out and all these allegations, you know, where do you see things going from here with Puff? Do you think he's ever going to be able to recover? Do you think he's going to ever get the trust of people again? You know, a lot of people still don't believe it. A lot of people are still like, you know, riding with Puff at this time.
But that's okay. And I believe that he may have an opportunity once he gets off the drugs, once he cleans himself up, he may have something to offer. But until he decides that he's not gonna be an addict no more and addicted to the lifestyle that he is and he was used to, ain't no insurance company, ain't no company, or nobody gonna ever deal with him. Because now he's a liability.
One thing I've seen a lot of people say was they want to hear from Young Miami.
She's standing by her man. That's what she said, right? I'm standing by my man.
Did she say that? I must have missed it.
Yeah, I think she said that when they was over in London, that she's standing by her man.
That's crazy. I mean, you know, he might not be treating her like that.
I don't know. It's different when a lady says she like to be on and she dealing with somebody. That came out her mouth.
Right, I remember.
So you ain't gonna give her what she like?
So she might be actually into all this stuff. Or not, you know, not all of it, but some of the stuff that
may not bother her.
It might not bother her and she might actually like it.
She can go get her Birkin bag the next day.
So to kind of take it back a little bit before we get out of here, you know, the night the Big passes away, Mason recently came out and said that there was a bunch of bloods outside of his hallway at the hotel. Is there anything to that, or did you say anything like that?
Well, when I got there, it was a few people there that could have been bloods. They had red on and stuff like that, but it wasn't no 70 dudes. When I got there, what Mace saw, I don't know what he saw, but it's 2 occasions I went and got Mace. One time he was in the, I think the Century Club in Cali. During that time, I got him out the Century Club. And then early that morning, when Puff had got on a plane and left Mace, we went and got him and let him, some dudes from Black Hands, we went and got Mace. Mace came down, went to his car, and he got up out of there.
Do you know who was in there or what was going on, or?
Bruh, when I was traveling with Black Hands, that's the Black Gorilla family. And Black Hands, when I was traveling with those dudes and rocking with them, they ain't worrying about nobody. We wasn't worrying about nobody. I went to Mace's room, got Mace. Mace came out, got in his car and left. You know, if it was 70 bloods at one time, it's a possibility. You understand? It's a possibility. There was a few guys that was dressed in red that you know, my man them knew, a couple of my dudes knew them. And they were Bloods. So, I can't deny what he say he saw or what he did, but when we got there, wasn't nobody like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you scared, 7 could look like 70.
So you think Minx might have just been scared? I mean, after, you know, Big did just get killed.
You had every right to be. Big just got killed. The guy who got you out there and everything jumps on the first plane smoking and leave you out there, you would feel.
So mentally, like, one minute I'm happy, one minute I'm sad, one minute I'm feeling like, fuck this shit. And then the next minute, I'm looking at my kids and I'm like, I ain't bring us this far to go backwards.
Yeah, she went on to talk about how she distanced herself from Diddy as soon as those allegations started hitting the news. She wasn't trying to get caught up in all that, letting him handle his mess by himself.
When all of these things came out, I just needed to take a break and focus on what's important. It was just me and my career and my family, and just, you know, let him navigate and figure that out on his own, because I can't get caught up in it.
And when Santana asked the big question whether Diddy had ever been violent with her, Keisha shut it down immediately.
Although that wasn't my experience, and he was such a good person to me, and that's what people don't understand about, like, me and Puff relationship. They was just like, you were so loud, and you made him a part of your brand, and, you know, like, you just thought that you had something, and it wasn't that. Because I think the same thing with him. Like, he didn't expect to fall in love with me, because we did end up falling in love with each other. And I just feel like, you know, it's just everything that's going on. Like, I don't want to get caught up in that, and I just need a moment to just...
She let everyone know that while she's been a victim of domestic violence in 2 previous relationships, it's not something she's ever dealt with in her time with Diddy.
Like, have my daughter, like, I would never put myself in that position. I don't stand for domestic violence. I'm just not going for that.
Now, let's break this down for a sec. Miami is saying she can't speak on stuff she doesn't know about. But isn't that kind of sus? If you're close enough to someone to be their girlfriend, how do you not know what's going on? It's like she's trying to have her cake and eat it too, all the perks of being with Diddy, none of the responsibility. And let's not forget, this isn't just about what Miami's saying, it's about what she's not saying. She's not denying the allegations. She's not coming out strong against the lawsuits. She's just being vague, and in the world of celebrity scandals, vague usually means there's more to the story. But here's where it gets real messy. Miami's words don't match up with what the lawsuits are saying. Remember all that stuff about her being Diddy's fixer, about her pressuring victims? Yeah, she's not touching that with a 10-foot pole. It's like she's hoping if she doesn't talk about it, it'll just go away. And now an old tweet of hers has resurfaced, making her seem all too guilty. There's a whole lot of talk swirling around that this anonymous woman accusing Diddy could actually be Gina. And if you've been paying attention, you already know Gina's been tangled up in Diddy's life as one of his girls. Gina didn't hold back when she opened up about what she suffered during their 5-year relationship. Back in 2019, she sat down with controversial blogger Tasha K and detailed some horrifying allegations. She revealed that Diddy stomped on her stomach so hard that it knocked the wind out of her. Gina also claimed the rapper grabbed her by the hair and punched her repeatedly in the back of the head. In the interview, Gina said Diddy not only physically abused her but also played mind games. As if that wasn't enough, Gina dropped another bomb. Diddy allegedly paid her $5,000 to have an abortion when she became pregnant. Then there's mad tension between her and Young Miami. These two were literally going at it online, beefing over Diddy in 2022. The drama kicked off on May 17th, when Gina posted a pic to her IG story of Diddy kissing her on the cheek. And you already know Miami wasn't about to let that slide. In true city girl fashion, Miami jumped on Twitter and fired back with a tweet saying, "Somebody please give this some attention," and just like that, it was on. The back and forth didn't stop with one tweet. Both women went at it on Instagram and Twitter, giving fans plenty of drama to follow throughout the day. But here's the twist. After all that social media smoke, Gina decided words weren't enough. She dropped a snippet of her new track, "Shake My Ass for Dollars," which of course seemed to be aimed right at the situation. This just so happens to be the same year this Jane Doe says she got pregnant and then lost the baby. Fans have even dug up an old tweet from Young Miami that's got people raising their eyebrows. In the tweet, she said, "You want a baby? I got a career. You a certified freak, you haven't heard from Diddy since the awards. Reminiscing on abortions, let that hurt go Chen Lai." Now, everyone's convinced the shade was 100% aimed at Gina. So, could Jane Doe be Gina? It's all just speculation for now, but the timing is sus and the internet is running wild, putting pieces together and drawing their own conclusions. Regardless, that tweet is making things look real messy for Miami, and it's only a matter of time before she's pulled into this legal storm. Fans are already talking, saying stuff like, "Kish about to be seeing bars too, she can hold up that let's go pay PI at Diddy's trial." People are really letting their opinions fly, with someone else adding, "Of course she did. She did whatever he wanted her to do, because she loved getting an allowance. She didn't care what he did to anyone as long as she was getting paid." Pathetic.
You know, a black man didn't cuss a dead man's mother out. A black man didn't set his friends up and put them in a situation where they couldn't come home to their families no more. A black man didn't reach back and help the people that helped them make it up the ladder. It was Puffy. You understand? I got tired of Puffy going on different platforms talking about how he loved the people that we was all with, how he loved the people that helped him, when in fact, none of that stuff was true. So my whole thing about it is, man, I appreciate your platform for letting me, voice my opinion. And like I said, opinions like an asshole. Some of these cats out here get paid for their asshole. I get paid to give my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, yeah, you just on here giving your opinion, man. I mean, you was one of the people that was real close to the situation, so why not?
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So with that being said, right, the last interview me and you did was a day after the raid. And when you look at everything now, man, how you feel about everything? It's been like a week, you knowing Diddy, you being around Diddy. Could you ever imagine that his houses would get raided for sex trafficking?
Bruh, you can't imagine no stuff like that. You understand? You can't think that, because back then, he wasn't Brother Love. He was Puffy. All the way up until he became Diddy. So his behavior over the years has changed. And the behavior that he shows now, and that he has shown by being Brother Love, I couldn't imagine that the police would be raiding him for sex trafficking? Nah, bruh. I couldn't imagine that. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't him back then. He's a totally different person that he became. If you've seen him on other platforms, inviting men to party with him, inviting men to go shopping with him. You understand? That wasn't Puffy. That wasn't Diddy. That was Brother Love and Love.
How you feel about all the people that's wondering why haven't any of Diddy big name friends came out to defend him?
Because either two things that I believe. Either they know some of the stuff is true, either they took part in some of the stuff that happened, or they scared that it may mess up their brand. See, nobody wants to be in contact with anybody that allegedly was sex trafficking. You see what the WWF did to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon was one of those people that was called for sex trafficking. We don't hear a lot about it because he gave up the company, he did what he was supposed to do, and he became Ghost. But now you see they trying to do the same thing to Puffy. They trying to make him or hip hop the face of sex trafficking, like they was gonna do the WWF at one time. Cause that was a big story. So a lot of his people that know him, a lot of the people that been in those parties and seen probably some unscrupulous shit that went down and was like, ooh, I was there. I hope they don't got me on tape. They feeling a certain way. So they not gonna speak on nothing until they've been approached with something. You got to realize when Homeland Security get their evidence together, they're going to send agents out. You understand? They might see.
And one chimed in, Young Miami is just as bad and guilty as Diddy. So where does this leave Young Miami? She's trying to walk this tightrope between loyalty to Diddy and saving her own skin. But with every word she says, it's like she's digging herself deeper. The more she tries to play innocent, the more sus it looks. Young Miami's been living large, but karma's coming to collect. What's the real cost of being Diddy's ride or die? Spoiler alert, it's way more than designer bags and VIP parties. We're about to break down just how deep this rabbit hole goes. Here's the tea: if these claims stick, we're talking potential criminal charges. Even if she dodges jail, her career is in trouble. Labels, sponsors, collabs, they'll all think twice. But hold up, these are just allegations for now. Nothing's proven in court. So is Miami a victim caught in Diddy's web, or a willing player in his game? Or maybe both? The jury's still out on this one. What's your take? This scandal's far from over, and who knows what bombshells are coming next.